Hey y'all, it's Chris here with Rockin 8 Farm. I've got a bunch of pigs that I need to get moved, so we'll show some video of that, but I've got something cool I want to show you. I've just got to get all these pigs moved first. If you have not already done so, please hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and go check out our website, rockin8farm.com. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, grass. Grass is so good. Come on. Okay, y'all. I very quickly gave up on filming. I've actually already moved 3 pigs. You saw the beginnings of 1. And this is what I was telling y'all about, like, it's not even that things got hairy. It's that I couldn't do what I needed to do and get the filming done. So it just is what it is. I don't have a camera crew. We can kind of move the camera around a little bit, but then it gets forgotten sitting off in a corner because I'm off doing something else. So I'm gonna have to walk you around and explain to you what we did. Right now, I have to try and combine 2 groups of piglets, and then I've got 1 more pig to move. All right, y'all, so what did we do? Well, we moved a whole bunch of pigs. One of the questions that I got the other day was, how long do you wait to put your sows back in with your boars? And for us, the answer is it depends on their condition. I have 1 sow that gets worn down by piglets really hard, really fast, even with all the extra feed. She just gets to the place where when it's time for us to wean, she's looking kind of thin. So for her, she doesn't go straight back in with a boar. We wean the piglets off of her and leave her on that heightened amount of feed until she starts looking better. And usually, honestly, she bounces back fast, week and a half. Then she's ready to go in with the boar, but by then she's already missed the heat cycle. So what we really like to do, if possible, and with our younger gilts and our younger sows, it's been possible so far, is keep their condition really good through nursing, through lactating, so that they can go straight from their piglets out to the pen with the boar. It usually takes about 3, 4, maybe 5 days for them to go into heat. 3 or 4 has been my average on my farm. 3 or 4 days after being weaned, they go into heat, and generally speaking, the boar will catch them on that first heat cycle, and 118 days later, 115 to 118 days later, we got more piglets. We generally wean at about 8 weeks. For a lot of people, that's late. We'll wean earlier if the 1 sow that I have that her piglets will really start beating her down and her condition will start to suffer. The longest I've ever left the piglets on her is 6 weeks. But the rest of my sows, generally it's about 8 weeks, and then they're back out on pasture. So that's what we were doing today. The first one that I showed you, that was Carlita, and she moved back out here with Oliver and Ellie. Ellie, you can see Ellie behind me. Ellie's already been bred by Oliver, so we've already got her due date down. We put Esme in with Weddle at about the same time, and you'll see Esme in a minute. So hopefully those 2 pigs are going to have piglets within a few weeks of each other, and then we'll have the ability to do breeding pairs. So you can't see them because they're all the way up at the top of the pasture, but Carlita and Oliver are up there hanging out. He's a big gentleman, a big gentle giant. He's not trying to mount her or anything right now because she's not in heat, but he's interested in her because she's new, and they're just out there grazing together. Ellie was being a little bit of a bully, but she'll learn to, and that cracks me up that Ellie was being a bully because she's the biggest wimp on our farm. So we're gonna walk over here real quick, and what we did is we took both Panchita and Ruby and moved them in with Güero and Esme. Panchita and Ruby are mom and daughter. So because they're both jewel lines and because they're so closely related, I like to have them get bred by the same boar. And then that way, because if I bred them to different boars, I wouldn't be able to make breeding pairs anyhow because of how close the mom and daughter are. So I put them with the same boar, and I just end up with a bunch of Sam Jewel piglets. But since they're going in the same time as Carlita, I'll be able to pair up those Sam Jewel piglets with the Bandit Diana piglets. And let's see what we got going on out here. We're gonna walk up a little closer, but Panchita's hanging out up there. Güero's checking out Ruby over here, and Esme's back there in the distance. So since Ruby heard my voice, she's running over here saying, "Daddy, save me." So there's Ruby. And as you can see, her condition's good. You know, you can't see ribs or anything, can't see backbone, can't see hips, so she's not super thin. There's a good look at her from the back. So she's in really good shape. She's in good condition. She was good to come back out here. Panchita, she's a big girl. You can see her standing next to my boar there, and you can see that she is darn near as big as the boar is. And her condition is excellent as well. And then we've got Esme over here. Sorry for the sun glare. So he's got 3 ladies right now. Now, obviously, what that left was it left Ruby's piglets out in the weaning pens. That's why we call them weaning pens. They're out there weaning. So they're getting their own feed, their own water. No more freebies from mom, and they'll all get weaned off. Panchita's piglets, we moved them in with Carlita's piglets. Carlita and Panchita both came out of the barn. So we just combined all those piglets in one stall in the barn. And then this weekend, I will do final evaluations and get them moved out here to the weaning pens, shoot a bunch of video, castrate boys, get everybody sold, all that good stuff. Hi. Everybody see, this is Anita. Anita's going to be one of our breeding stocks. She's from the maple lines. And then these 3 over here are all feeders. 2 of them because they're on the runty side, and one of them because he had a scrotal hernia when we castrated him. So the last move that needed to be done was I had Trixie out on pasture by herself. Trixie had been in a pen with a couple of feeders. I had to move her out from being with Oliver because she was being super mean to Ellie, and I couldn't get Ellie bred. So we moved Trixie out with the big feeders so that Ellie could be on her lonesome with her lover, Oliver. And then now that I've got those big feeders off to the processor, Trixie was out there by herself, and she's also about 10 days away from farrowing, so Trixie needed a barn space. A lot needed to be done. This is the way it always happens. It's never just like you're moving a pig. It seems like it's never just a pig. You know, so like recap, Panchita from barn to pasture, Ruby from weaning pens to pasture, Carlita from barn to pasture, piglets combined, Trixie from pasture to barn. That was all the moving that we had to do right now. And y'all, I tried to shoot some video and I just couldn't do it. You know, when you've got 300-pound animals and they're cooperating, but just barely, I mean, you can't be taking your eyes off of stuff. If you do, that's when stuff goes hairy. So we just opted to, like I usually have to do, say forget it. But at least I'm shooting a video, even if it wasn't like a, hey, look at me video. So since I've talked so long, y'all, I think that, you know, the big thing that I told you I had to tell you about, I think we'll just wait till next week. I'm playing with you. I'm not going to do that to y'all. We did another thing. We've been really pushing towards having some sustainability as far as meat sources go. So we got together with a breeder, and my wife was really excited about this because she has always loved this animal. So we've got the Idaho pasture pigs. We've got all of the different fancy breeds of English Orpingtons. And now we have TAMUK rabbits. So this is one of our little girls right here. Her name is Rosalinda, and we just call her Linda for short. So this is one of my wife's babies. This is Linda. And my son said, I think she looks like spring. So we named her Primavera, which means spring in Spanish. So this is little Primavera. And last but not least, we have our blue buck. Hi, buddy. And since he's blue, we named him Cielo, which is Spanish for sky. And yes, y'all, just in case you didn't know, you call the gray color blue. So y'all, I can't guarantee this is 100% true. I was told by an individual who went to Texas A&M University at Kingsville, which is where this rabbit was bred. And not only did they go to that university, but they worked in the ag barn and they worked on the rabbit program. And that person told me that the correct pronunciation of these, it's the initials TAMUK, Texas A&M University, Kingsville. The proper pronunciation is TAMUK. So these are TAMUK rabbits. They were bred at Texas A&M University in Kingsville as a composite rabbit to specifically tolerate the hotter conditions, the more humid conditions, or the sometimes drier conditions here in Texas. So they get great big ears and they get great big feet, which makes it easier for them to lose heat. And I've heard some people that do not own them make negative comments about them. But everyone I know personally and have spoken to that owns them loves these rabbits. You can find them all over the United States now, but obviously they're very common here in Texas. We will sell some of these rabbits just to make up, a little extra money here and there. But, selling rabbits isn't like a huge money game. You get a lot of rabbits that you sell for smaller dollar amounts. Still works out pretty good in the end, but the main reason that we got into rabbits is because we talked to some rabbit people, we talked to some cattle people, and we discovered that a breeding trio of rabbits can provide you with almost as much, up to as much meat as a single steer. So this breeding trio of rabbits could potentially provide us with the equivalent in rabbit meat of raising out one steer every year. So the fact that we are lining up a deal to trade me raising out pigs with somebody who's raising out a steer, we'll be bringing in a steer every year, our 4 feeder pigs a year, every year, and, a couple 100 pounds in rabbit meat every year. And along with the eggs and any chickens we cull, etc. So basically, we're going to be pretty much not buying any meat at the grocery store anymore. And I think that is going to be a pretty golden place to be. So that's it, y'all. Moving a whole bunch of pigs, trying to keep the breeding program going, and jumping into rabbits. If any of y'all have any questions, we'll do more on the rabbits later. But if you want to see more on the rabbits, then drop it down in the comment section. If you got specific questions about pigs, drop them down in the comment section. You can also feel free to shoot me an email at rockin8farm@gmail.com. But other than that, y'all, till I see y'all again, be happy and live healthy.